What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're bringing you an episode you guys have been pleading for a long time, and it's one that we've actually done a lot of preparation for. The main reason is because I went on the community board and asked you guys about transfers you wanted to hear me talk about, and you guys put a lot of them. So I'm going to take the most realistic ones. I'm going to try to get as many as I can into this episode, and we're basically going to break them down. We're going to go through all the ones that you guys wanted to hear, as well as some actual rumors that have been going over the last couple months, as well as even some breaking news rumors, and hopefully we'll get your guys' opinions as well as mine of what I think about them. So let's get into it. So the first category we're going to start is with goaltenders, and you guys did give us a decent little list to look at. The first keeper I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to do these relatively quickly because you guys threw a lot of names at me. So there's 4 goalkeepers that we've been linked to that's on our list because, as you guys know, Roman Berkey doesn't really have a future here. Hitz is our starting goalkeeper from now and probably till the end of the season, which means Berkey will be on his way out and we'll have to be looking for a new keeper. So I'm going to give you guys a rating, a simple rating of how realistic I think that this is going to be for these transfers. So the first keeper we're looking at is Florentina's goalkeeper, Dragowski. And Dragowski is a fantastic pull. You guys know that. We've been talking about him a long time on the channel. He's my number 1 pick. If you guys don't want to know where I feel about him, it's very highly. He is the perfect keeper to bring in. He's young, 23. He could be the future here. We've had a lot of Poland internationals that have had a lot of success at Borussia Dortmund. So what's one more? As soon as Piszczek leaves, one more comes in. Come on, it makes sense. He's rumored to be around 15 to 20 million, which is a fantastic deal if you're asking me, for someone who's showed a lot of potential, playing in one of the top 5 leagues in the world, and of course is just young, can be here for the future. So for me, he's our number 1 goalkeeper, and he's the first target on the list that I would like to see us target this summer for goalkeepers. So the second keeper I would target is Tomas Dragowski from Lazio. The Albanian has been a fantastic keeper for Lazio over his career. I don't really know what happened and why Pepe Reina is the starter now. Maybe it's just because of who he is, but he's shown some incredible things. He's young, 25 as well. I feel like we could get him at a very reasonable price, considering that he's going to want to leave Lazio, considering that he's not a starter anymore, and looking at trying to balance out this pretty much budget coming up, because we don't know exactly what it's going to be. He'd be honestly a very smart, kind of cheap buy. I mean, he's worth taking a shot on because we've seen what he can do, and I prefer him to be our second choice because I think Dragowski's got just a little bit more potential than him, and honestly just a little bit more well-rounded than Dragowski is, but I would definitely have no problems of targeting him and him being our next starting keeper next season. The third number on my list is Peter Glashy, and that is the Lazio keeper. There were some heavy rumors because of a potential release clause that was rumored to be around 10 to 15 mil. I don't think it's going to happen. He's come out and said that he's happy at Leipzig. Leipzig want to keep him. I don't think he wants to jump ship to Dortmund, so I don't see this happening. However, he is third on my list because he's got Bundesliga experience, which is fantastic. He can lead from the back. He's been in the country for a while, and I think he would honestly come in and more than likely, even in front of Dragowski right now, be our best option. However, I'm looking for the future, and his age being 30 is just a little bit of a turnoff for me. I want someone a little bit younger and who can lead the line here for the better part of a decade, in my opinion. And I know it's hard to think, but that's how I'm thinking. So that's why he is number 3 on my list. Also with the fact I just don't think we'll be able to get him. But I don't need to say much about him. You guys who's familiar with the Bundesliga know what a fantastic keeper he is, and we'll see what the future brings for him, but I don't think it's going to be in Dortmund. And the fourth keeper you guys talked about, and I don't even really want to get into it, but it's Dean Henderson from Manchester United. He's 4th on my list, and honestly, he's not even on my list because I don't want him whatsoever. I have nothing against Dean Henderson. I think he's a good keeper, and honestly, he's turned his form around since you guys have told me to make this video, which means he's the starter keeper right now for Manchester United. However, I don't want him for 3 reasons. The number 1 reason is the fact that he's English, and he will more than likely come to the Bundesliga and probably do well with us for 1 to 2 years before he gets immediately bought right back because another Premier League side's like, hey, let's bring the Englishman back home. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a waste of time for me. I'd rather us target someone who, like I said, could be there for the better part of a decade, not a loanee. I want someone we can invest into and not just turn over. The second reason is I don't really want to deal with United, man. I really don't. I think Manchester United is just kind of annoying to deal with. I think considering how the Sancho deal went down, or lack of better words, didn't go down, I don't think they'd be very easy to work with. I really don't. And Dean Henderson probably would be targeted around, I want to say 35 million plus. And that is a lot of money to spend on a keeper who, in my opinion, isn't better than Dragowski. And that was my third point, is the fact that I don't rate him that much higher than Dragowski or any of the people on this list, to be honest. So considering he'll cost an arm and a leg to get him there when we can go out and get a cheaper buy, doesn't make sense to me. So that's my list of keepers. for me, it's probably the number one position we need to target, and for me, it's Dragowski. It's the number one person. Dragowski is the guy. Let me know if you guys agree with the comments, but we're going to move on to our next position. The next position is right back, and I'm briefly going to touch over this because, like I've said a lot on this channel, we are not going to sign a right back. We are not. We've invested in Thomas Meunier. Yes, we didn't pay a transfer fee, but guess what? Wages are a lot on a free agent player. He is going to be in Dortmund for a few seasons now. And we also have young Marai, who's obviously showing what he can do. He's going to be, hopefully, our starter going forward for the rest of this season and probably the next few seasons. So our right back position is maxed up. Lampetit was the only young name that was mentioned. He's a talented young Englishman playing at Brighton right now. Nothing wrong with him. I think he'd be a great addition to any squad really in the Bundesliga. And I think there are a couple. Bayern was linked to him as well. But again, he's going to cost a lot of money, man. The young English players, they do. He's going to cost money to get him over here. I don't even know. I think it was about 30 mil is what they were talking about. Same as young Aarons, who, I mean, I guess I mentioned him. But either way, I don't want to see us target a right back. We're not going to be targeting a right back because we have two that are tied up for this foreseeable future. So it's as easy as that. If I was going to target one, though, it wouldn't be an Englishman. And I don't even have a suggestion just because I don't want to get into it because I don't think one's going to happen. So let me know if you guys do think that we should address someone because you guys obviously want Meunier not, in here anymore. But I think he's doing a fine job. He can be a good starter, and young Marai can learn from him and be our main man going forward. Looking at the center back position, I have two names for you guys. I think they're both absolutely fantastic. I sort of have a preference, sort of don't. I don't know, but I'll let you guys decide exactly which one. You guys know I'm a big fan of Milinkovic from another Fiorentina player. He's a solid center back, Serbian. He is fantastic, man. I've been watching him for a while. I had a feeling he was going to go to Napoli. That was always a team I kind of felt like he'd be a good fit in there. I thought Koulibaly was maybe going to leave. He was going to be the replacement. Never happened. But I rate him, man. And I bet you he's going to cost between 30 and 40 million. I think that that's a big chunk of investment. It's a position that we desperately need to attend to. And I don't think that we have to look any further. I think he's shown what he can do. He played in a kind of a rough and rowdy little Fiorentina side. I think he would slide in the back beside Hummels better than anybody. It's a name you guys wanted me to talk about. It's a name that I want to talk about. And he's probably number one on my list. But a very close second is Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg. He's a young French 20-year-old, and he is just doing fantastic. He's got the Bundesliga experience, which is absolutely huge from Wolfsburg. He brought Wolfsburg, partnered with John Brooks, up to a third-place finish right now, and arguably, I think that they're going to pull off Champions League football. However, and this is the reason I may want to target him instead of Milinkovic, money is going to be crucial for us. Huge for us this summer. There's a little bit of rumors going around that the head coach at Wolfsburg, some of the players, there's some tension going on, and if Oliver ends up leaving, man, I think that there's a couple players that may follow suit, and it's been told that a huge reason that Maxence Lacroix may leave is because his head coach, his manager, is going to potentially be leaving, and he just kind of wants to go on then. If the person he kind of got him to where he is leaving, then he might want to take that step, and that might give some negotiation power to Borussia Dortmund to be able to lower that fee, because right now the rumors are about 30 mil, which, again, 35 for Milinkovic, 30 for Lacroix. It doesn't matter. They're both fantastic players, and it's worth the deal. But if you want to be penny pinching, which we may be doing because of COVID, Lacroix may be the guy to go if he asks for a transfer out. For left backs, you actually, guys, didn't really mention any left backs, and I think that's probably smart because, like I said, similar situation with the right back is that we don't really have a lot of options to go for. We have Guerrero as our starting man for left back. Schultz is doing fine as left back. I think it's easy, set, done, match. No one had any suggestions about it, and I don't really either, because I think that Schultz will be a fine left back going forward. He's proven that when Guerrero's down, and Guerrero's doing a great job, obviously being one of the, in my opinion, the best wing backs you'll find. So left back, nothing. Easy, set, and done. For the center mid position, man, there's going to be two kind of weird ones. The first one's going to be Neuhaus. We know we've been obviously mentioned, and Neuhaus's name's been basically linked to us even before Marco Rose was announced, and now especially that he got announced, it's kind of went up and then it kind of settled back down because I really don't think that we're going to target him for a couple of reasons. The number one reason is the fact that he's going to cost a lot of money. 45 plus is what we're looking at right now. Second big reason is why would Gladbach want to sell to us after, the whole situation? I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. We don't have a nice relationship with Gladbach right now due to Marco Rosa. Their entire season pretty much fell apart after the announcement of him. I don't think they'd be very keen to sell one of their best assets to Borussia Dortmund. So I don't think we're going to target him whatsoever. Marco Rosa came out and said he's not taking any Gladbach players, so that's easy set match. No Neuhaus. But the one thing that you guys did say, and I totally agree, is re-sign Dahoud. And I 100% agree, man. He's completely turned his game around. He's a player we all kind of knew could maybe do it, but if you got a run of games, he was given that run of games. I think he's impressing Rosa from far, and there you go. Toss him a new contract. There's our new signing. Looking at the winger position is a very interesting one for some of you guys. Juan Matuka was mentioned, Koulibaly was mentioned, and Nicolas Gonzalez. 3 Stuttgart players were all mentioned. All fantastic wingers. Again, the same issue for me is the same about Koulibaly as well as Juan Matuka, and that's the fact that they are just don't have the end product quite yet. I mean, arguably, Juan Matuka does because, I mean, the number of goals he scored, and he is doing it at that level, but there's just something for me that's missing. Just for making that step from Stuttgart to Dortmund, I think he should maybe make a step, maybe to a Leverkusen, to a Wolfsburg, because I think he's got it in him. But just for me, just for going into a very strong Dortmund squad like that on the wings, I just don't know if I'm quite ready. Same as Koulibaly, very quick, very young, talented player. I think he needs a few more years before he can make that jump. And Juan Matuka, arguably, like I said, can make the jump, but I don't think quite to Dortmund yet. That leaves Nicolas Gonzalez. Nicolas Gonzalez, for me, can, because he's got the experience of playing with some of the best. You tell me how hard it is walking into a Lionel Messi team. It is a challenge. When you're playing with arguably the best player to ever play the game, playing as an Argentina guy that's kind of all over the place, he asks a lot from you. And Gonzalez has done it, and he's done it very well. He's very versatile. Can play as a striker, can play as a winger, can play as a false 9. And I think that versatility in those positions is very crucial for us. We've seen Brandt and Reyna struggle for that versatility to go out in the wings. And I think that due to Gonzalez's speed, the fact that he's played with some of the best, I think he can make that jump for us. I'd rate it. He'd be my first out of those 3, followed by Juan Matuka because, I mean, he's having an excellent season, and then Koulibaly because I just don't think he's quite ready for that yet. Another winger that we're going to talk about is a very talented one as well. It's one that I don't know exactly how you want to describe him, but it's Teemo Werner, and it's a little bit awkward. This is the very breaking news that you guys may have heard of, and it's a swap deal between Erling Haaland, Teemo Werner, and cash. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys want to believe, but for me, it's not a good look for Borussia Dortmund to lose both Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland. So if you're going to lose one, like I've already told you guys, it's probably going to be Jadon Sancho. I don't think Haaland's leaving. The only exception is if we don't get Champions League football, but only time will tell. Teemo Werner is an excellent player. There's nothing wrong with him. I don't know exactly where he fits anymore. I used to kind of see him as that false 9 striker. Now I kind of see him as a winger. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same Teemo Werner we'd be getting, the same one that put up 28 goals for Leipzig. He's kind of shaken up. He's had a tough go in the Premier League. I don't think it's going to happen, man. It seems like a wild little stretch for me, and I wouldn't see it. However, if it was Teemo Werner who could come back and put up 28 goals in the Bundesliga, I would welcome him with open arms, but I'm not sure he's quite that player anymore. Looking a little bit centrally now, there's a couple of names that have been linked to the club, and there's 3 names here we're going to go through quickly for you guys, and I like all of them, but we're going to go in order. You guys know exactly who I'm going to number 1, and that's Mullen. Danielle Mullen is a fantastic player, man. He's killing it at PSV. He's a player that I've talked about each and every time. You guys message me every day. Who do we need? We need a winger. We need a backup striker. You get both of them from Mullen. He is putting up numbers in PSV. PSV is going through a little bit of tough times because of COVID, and they're looking to maybe sell some of their prized jewels. Mullen falls into that category, and he is the perfect signing, man. We have to go after him. He solves so many problems. Dutch international, can play on the wing, can play as a striker. If Haaland's injured, man, that's a huge, huge player to start as striker if he's out, and it's absolutely fantastic. He's by far and above the only player I really want to see a sign on the up top, but followed behind that would be Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay, like I've told you guys a bunch of times, fantastic player. I've watched him since he was at PSV, over to United, to Lyon. He's changed his game since I've watched him. He used to be a fantastic winger. He's now obviously went into that center forward position where he likes having everything go through him. You saw a Lyon and a Dutch national team completely change shape into a 4-3-3 to make sure everything goes through this player. He's special. He's got a huge character. I would love him at the team, but not while Haaland's here because he wouldn't fit our system. He doesn't like dropping as deep for a cam. He doesn't really like the wings anymore. He wants to be that false 9. It's the reason Dembele got sold from Lyon, and it's the reason that he will not be going to Borussia Dortmund, in my opinion. And the third and final name is Luka Jovic. And Luka Jovic obviously has got some fantastic Bundesliga pedigree, man. He does. He's a good goal scorer. He's done it at Frankfurt. Hasn't worked out at Madrid. There's those rumors again about him maybe going to the Bundesliga, Haaland the other way. I don't see it happening, and I don't think Luka Jovic is going to want to be a backup striker to Haaland, which is why I don't rate him. That, guys, was a very, very condensed, long list that I put into some realistic ones. There was some outside shots of some players, so I can't mention them all because we didn't want the video to go too long. I tried to grab the most realistic ones I had, put them in my order. And yeah, if you want to ask me right now, what does Borussia Dortmund need for next year? It's a keeper. If you're looking at me, Dragowski is our guy. Game, set, match. Center back. I'm a toss up, man. But right now, due to the situation in Wolfsburg and the money, I'm kind of leaning towards Lacroix. But in my list, I obviously put Milinkovic because I do think he'd be a fantastic fit. So I will go with Milinkovic. Midfield, nada. Left back, right back, nada. Up front, Mullen. Mullen's our guy. You get away with those three players plus some of the other players coming up, and I think we got a very good looking Dortmund team for next season. But I want to hear what you guys have. This was your guys' list from the community board. Thank you everyone who put their names in and have been asking me all kinds of questions. So we'll see what you guys have to say. I'm very curious to see what you have to say about the breaking news of Teemo Werner being linked to us, because that's a wild one. That is a huge rumor. Holland and over to Chelsea for Werner and cash. That's a crazy one. Hopefully I want to hear what you guys think about it in the comments. For me, it's a no, because I don't think we're going to lose Holland. I don't. But, I mean, it's not a bad look if that release clause is true and we get money and a goal scorer who put up 28 Bundesliga goals. But that's nor here or there, because I still don't think it's true. Holland will be with us next season. So, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this transfers episode. I have a lot of fun making these, and just leave a comment and let me know what you think about them, because this should be an interesting conversation, because Borussia Dortmund is going to have a lot of transfer news coming throughout the course of the summer. So, thank you guys. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.